Hello and good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, and Tuesday means that we discuss Judaism's 12 big ideas, an exploration that we began together at the beginning of our stay at home, and we'll continue for another little bit. For today, we are ready to explore idea number 9. So today we'll explore number 9, on Thursday we'll explore number 9, and in fact, it's a very exciting and interesting idea that I'd like to introduce. But before that, I want to remind everyone that Friday and Saturday is a very special holiday. It's the holiday of Shavuos. And on Friday there will not be a broadcast, but at 10 o'clock we're going to initiate a 10-10-10 campaign. On Friday at 10 o'clock, I ask everyone to take 10 minutes and review the 10 Commandments. If we would be gathering at synagogue, we'd be reading the 10 Commandments out of the Torah. But the fact that we are at home should not preclude us from drawing into that great experience, and we'll speak about this more as we get closer to Friday. But mark that off in your calendars. On Friday at 10 o'clock, we're all going to be united with 10 minutes of studying the 10 Commandments. And I'll tell you how that works as the week develops. So, our big ideas. Today's idea, on one hand, is so simple, yet it is so profound. We discussed about many big ideas. We spoke about harmony and mindfulness. We spoke about the Torah being a guidebook, about the presence and the relationship with God and the purpose we each play in creation, that creation has a purpose and we're part of the purpose and everyone can play their specific role in that purpose. But then there's a question, a very simple question that the child who's being taught these ideas and the child within us and the adults. What if it isn't working? You don't see, you work hard, you're trying to be a good person, you're trying to play your role in the greater good, but you don't see any success in what you do. So if you don't see success in what you do, why bother? And here we have this very, very valuable piece of advice from our Talmud, which seems very simple at first glance, but is very deep and profound. So let me bring up the ideas onto the screen that we have discussed till now. Let me remove that, right? So we talked about guidance, harmony, freedom, impact, relevance, mindfulness, purpose, tradition. We talked about all these great and wonderful ideas. Now we're up to a very important idea in our life, success. How does one determine success? How is one able to really know, are they successful? And what if you don't seem to be successful and your efforts are going to waste? How do you know that this is something that you should really continue to do? So here we have this very, very profound verse found in the Talmud. And the Rebbe brought this into one of the 12 statements. I'll make that a little bigger here so we can see that. Yagaiti velo matzati al tamin, lo yagati matzasi al tamin, yagaiti matzati tamin. If someone says, I have worked hard and I have not been successful, don't believe him. If someone says, I have not worked hard and I have been successful, don't believe them. If someone says, I have worked hard and I have been successful, believe them. So let's think about this. Let's repeat this. A person didn't work hard, a person works very hard, but says he's not successful, don't believe them. A person says, I'm successful, but I haven't worked hard, it's just I'm lucky. Don't believe them. Who do you believe? Someone who says, I have worked hard and I have been successful. Now, I remember learning this as a child, and I've many times asked myself the question, really? Why? First of all, why can't someone be successful without working hard? People get lucky in life. People get breaks in life. And number two is, if a person has success, you don't need to believe in them. They're showing you success. Or if a person tells you they worked hard and they're successful, why do you have to have belief in them? What is our sage, or why are sages using a term of ta'amin? Now, you can just say it's just arbitrary. You believe someone. But when you say belief and you use the word emunah, faith, in our teachings, it's very specific. Faith requires a leap of faith to see something that is not so obvious. And this is what's very important when we talk about success, the underlying truth of success. That the correlation between success and hard work is not always obvious, and therefore requires us to believe in a certain truth that the Torah is trying to teach us, that hard work equals success. Success results from hard work exclusively. If anyone tells you differently, then that's not to be believed. In other words, if you see someone successful, somewhere someone worked very hard to get that one success. You may not see it. That person who is living with their own success, it may not be obvious to them. They think they just got lucky, but people don't just get lucky. Success is a direct result of hard work. And the other way around. If you're working hard at something and you don't seem to see success, don't get discouraged, because hard work leads to success. Now, it may not be the success that you imagined. It may not lead to the result that you consider successful, but this is what the truth is telling us, that every hard work, every investment of hard work leads to a successful outcome. And any successful outcome comes from somebody's hard work. May not necessarily be the person who's enjoying that success. So, I have a saying in life, because I work very hard to teach and inspire people, and many times you don't see people necessarily being inspired, or just in general, running an organization the size of Lubavitch and Bucks County is not easy. It's very challenging, and you work hard to do so many things and try to make things happen, and you don't necessarily see the success. So as a child, I was taught this passage. And to paraphrase what this passage means to me is, do the right thing for the right reason, and good things will happen. Do the right things for the right reason, and good things will happen. If someone says differently, don't believe them, because the correlation between hard work and success is not something that is always so visible, but is always there. And we have to consistently work hard to do the right thing, because it will yield its results. Not maybe in the moment that you want it or you expect to see it, but it will plant the seeds for great things to happen. And we all have so many stories. And I want to conclude with just one story about this that I heard recently, which was actually very inspirational. And this was about 10 years ago in London, England. There was a 50th anniversary of the success of Lubavitch in the United Kingdom. And there was sitting the senior shaliach, the senior ambassador of the Rebbe to England, to Britain. And around him were sitting close to 100 couples of shluchim, who were ambassadors and emissaries that were all part of the Lubavitch network in England. Now, if you look back when they began 50 years ago, the idea of a Lubavitch center, the idea of a chassid coming into the streets of London, it was a complete culture shock, a clash. And yet, 50 years later, there's close to 100 emissaries servicing the network, and I'm sure if there was more funds, there would be more. That's how successful this was. So one of the younger shluchim, one of the younger rabbis, ambassadors of the Rebbe, went to the senior shliach, then to Rabbi Nachman Sudak, and asked him, how did you do this? How were you able to break through? And how were you able to persevere all the challenges and the hardships when this began, to be able to create such a blossoming network? You would expect a person of such success would say just hard work. Well, true hard work, but his hard work didn't begin 50 years prior when he came to London. The hard work that God gave him the success began many, many years earlier, when he was a little child of 9 in the city of Samarkand in Uzbekistan, which was a Hasidic town. But many years prior, so this was 10 years ago, we're talking about 50, 60 years ago, studying Torah, going to a Jewish day school under the Soviet rule was impossible. You weren't allowed to. They wanted all Jewish children to go to the public school and be taught the doctrines of atheism. His parents, like many Hasidim, did not send their children to the school. And they literally sacrificed their lives to send their children to an underground network of Jewish day schools. How would they accomplish this? They would send their children to the school before it got light outside. It was easier to sneak in to these underground schools. And then the children would be there till it got dark. And once it's dark, it would be easier for them to sneak out and go home. So Rabbi Sudak, who's then little Nachman, was 9 years old. And Friday, he has to go home. But Friday, you can't go home after it gets dark. It was Shabbat. And Shabbat comes, you have to be ready for Shabbat before the sun sets. So it was always very risky. And in fact, one Friday afternoon, this 9-year-old Nachman is going home from school, carrying a chumash home, hiding it, when he's stopped by a KGB officer. Now, they knew, children, once you meet a KGB, or any individual, once you met a KGB officer, it's probably the end. I said, where are you coming from? He asked the kid. And the kid was quick. He said, I'm bringing this book from my grandmother. She wants to give it to my grandfather. That's why he was carrying this holy book. Well, he thought he was off, and he starts to walk home. He realizes the officer is following him. And as he follows him, he realizes he's in trouble. Not him, because now the officer is going to follow him home, see where they live, and he's going to arrest his parents. So he thought very quick. And he realizes he's not going to let this officer come home. But there's like 25 minutes to Shabbat. I mean, what's he going to do? So he starts to run. Instead of running home, he runs around all the streets and he runs in circles and through the parks. And he's a little kid. He's running fast until the officer just couldn't keep up with him. And the officer just gave up. And then Nachman came home, brought the chumash, and he survived. But Nachman said that at that chase, on those 20 minutes of Friday when he was a 9-year-old child, is where he got the strength and the determination to live for what he believes in. He realized then when he was 9 years old that if you believe in a value, you have the strength to persevere. That 9-year-old chase is what gave him the strength, he says, to be able to come to England, to come to London, and go through all the challenges to build and expand the network of Judaism that he did. This, my friends, is what it means. Work hard and succeed. That's what we need to believe in. If you see hard work and you don't see success, don't be let down. The success and the impact of what you do may not be for the moment. It may be something that will help somebody or yourself in a year, 2, or 10. But if you say, I work hard and I was not successful, you don't understand the truth of working hard and success. And the other way around. If you see success, something happens, trace back. Remember, somebody worked hard for you to have that success. Appreciate that fact. Not appreciate that fact only to be thankful to the person who brought you that success, but as an inspiration to yourself that work hard, do the right thing for the right reason, and the right results will come. Today, tomorrow, in 5 years, or in 10 years. But every result, every hard work yields result. Isn't that a powerful message to teach young children as they grow up? Isn't it a powerful message to teach older children as we've grown up? That we have to always remember and believe, ta'amin, have faith in the truth that Judaism is trying to teach. That you're here for a purpose. You're here for a mission. You are here to change something in this world. Work hard, have good values, have good ethics, and hard work will yield success. So today, as you go through the day or you go through the week and you question, I've done this good thing, I've done that good thing, but did it really matter? The answer is yes. And if you tell yourself that I worked and I did something good, but it really didn't make a difference, don't believe it. Because it's just something inside of you trying to discourage you from doing more good. So let's look at the positive. Let's work hard to do the right thing, make the proper decisions, treat other people properly, although maybe hard work to do that, because good work, hard work, will yield great success. I want to wish you all a wonderful day. I want to wish you all a very successful day. And I want to remind you again to stay tuned for our great program that we're going to put together that we can all celebrate Shavua together this Friday at 10 o'clock and spend 10 minutes together wherever we are, exploring the great 10 principles that God revealed to us on Mount Sinai many years ago. Have a wonderful day. And as they say in Yiddish, sei gesund, be healthy, be positive, be upbeat. Things are going to change, and we're going to come out of this a lot stronger.